NGO Forum and Adb Annual Report 2020. 2020 was a year of challenge and change. By March, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed everything, including how our network works. Despite the challenging situation, the network did what it did best, working together to make the Adb and Aib accountable. Asian Development Bank. Not being able to be on the ground did not mean that we did not keep a close watch on Adb-funded projects. In 2020, the NGO Forum and Adb monitored the Tanahu hydropower project in Nepal, the Kolkata Environmental Improvement Investment Project, and Bengaluru Metro Rail project in India, the GER Area Development Investment Program in Mongolia, and the Water Resources Development Investment Program and the Wind Power Generation Project in Sri Lanka. We kept a close watch, and we documented the negligence of the Adb to the environment and people. Asian Development Bank Annual Meeting. For 2020, the Adb Annual Meeting was conducted virtually, but unlike previous years, the Adb chose to hide behind closed doors, and there were no space given to civil society organizations. The Forum Network protested this decision and hosted activities coinciding with Adb Annual Meeting to raise awareness on the kind of bank the Adb is. A bank that does not put people and planet first. Since the membership could not be on the streets to mobilize, the virtual space became a space where we gathered to protest. The Forum Network had a photo protest. These photos were compiled and sent to the bank along with the Forum statement. The Forum Network also had an online protest co-organized with CLEAN, Coastal Livelihood and Environmental Action Network Bangladesh, and Growth Watch, India. In this protest, we demanded the Adb to steer away from fossil fuels and head towards just renewable energy to meet the Paris Agreement of 1.5 degrees. The network also asked the Adb to ensure human rights, democratic rights are upheld in their operations and among its borrowers, and provide workers' rights, universal public healthcare, and universal social protection. The online protest was attended by 25 organizations worldwide and live-streamed at the NGO Forum and Adb Facebook page. During the Adb President's speech, the Forum Network also hosted a Twitter storm which generated a 6% negative sentiment. This means that there were more negative tweets about the Adb Annual Meeting than positive messages. Public presentation of the research, leaving behind Adb's dirty energy legacy. Civil society groups challenged the Adb and EU to jumpstart Asia's energy transition by decarbonizing its energy investment portfolio through the public presentation of the Center for Energy, Ecology and Development (CEED) research titled Leaving Behind Adb's Dirty Energy Legacy, Civil Society Critical Reflections and Recommendations. Asia Clean Energy Forum ASEF. The Asia Clean Energy Forum ASEF 2020 also took place virtually. This year, the Forum Network organized the A Civil Society Adb Dialogue ASEF 2020, accelerating the clean energy transition in Asia and unpacking Adb's energy policy review. In this dialogue, the network strongly urged the Adb to abandon all its justifications in financing carbon-intensive projects. The Forum also urged that the bank's future investment is in renewable energy and community microgrids. Fossil fuel has no space, especially coal. Adb Engagements. February 2020, NGO Forum and Adb sent a letter of introduction to the new Adb president, Masatsugo Asakawa. In the letter, the network welcomed the new president and gave a brief overview of the advocacies of the NGO Forum. In the same month, the network also sent a welcome letter to the new Compliance Review Panel CRP Chair, Ms. Elesia Guzon. A letter was sent to the Adb and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, calling the international creditors of Bangladesh to suspend realizing debt installments during COVID-19 distress. On June 28, the network had a meeting with Managing Director General Woo Chong-eun. The meeting was about the effectiveness of the 2009 Safeguard Policy Statement, SPS. The documents to review outline the consultation process and the network's reflection regarding the IED SPS evaluation. The Forum Network also participated in the invitation for CSO comments on the draft ADF 13 Donors Report. In the document, the network recommended a need to ensure clean energy, Paris 1.5 degree aligned pathway, strategically investing into supporting clean energy infrastructure, green and natural spaces by the ADF 13. The Forum Network also had a series of Adb energy consultation meetings to influence the bank's energy policy. The network strongly urges the Adb to gear its support towards a clear transition pathway and for the bank to steer investments towards a future in which the transition to renewable energy will be timely, just, inclusive, leaving coal, gas and oil in the ground. The network also had a meeting with Adb US Executive Director together with Friends of the Earth US. In the meeting, parties discussed with the findings of the IED Energy Evaluation Report on coal and fossil fuel financing and the bank's potential in shifting away from fossil fuels. The forum had conversations with the Adb fragile and conflict-affected situations and small island developing states. The forum also participated in its consultation rounds and gave expert opinions on topics presented. The forum membership had a series of conversations with Adb Safeguards Division. In these meetings, the network pointed out critical observations and suggestions regarding private sector operations and how the IED evaluation on SPS is not comprehensive enough. The Forum Network wrote to the Adb and AIIB about the Philippine Department of Energy coal moratorium and strongly urged banks to have an explicit binding language banning all forms of coal projects amended into its energy sector strategy. Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. NGO Forum and Adb monitored the following AIIB-funded projects: the Beijing Air Quality Improvement and Coal Replacement Project in China, Bohola Integrated Power Plant in Bangladesh, Mianjian Combined Cycle Gas Turbine in Myanmar, and the National Slum Upgrading Project in Indonesia. Aib Animal Meeting. For 2020, like the Adb, the 5th Aib Animal Meeting was conducted virtually, and there was no participation from civil society organizations and impacted communities. As a result, the Forum Network wrote to the AIIB President, Management, and Board members to express their concerns on how the AIIB has issued an animal meeting agenda with no mention of local communities and civil society engagement. The AIIB replied that they will schedule a dialogue with the CSO as soon as possible. After the 5th annual meeting of the AIIB, the Forum Network sent the civil society reflections on the AIIB's 5th annual meeting 2020 to the President, Management, and Board members. 5 years of AIIB, NGOs reveal how China-led bank disregards rights of affected people, a press conference. As a response to AIIB's 5th year of operation, the network had a press conference. 5 years of AIIB, NGOs reveal how China-led bank disregards rights of affected people. The press con discussed AIIB's 5 years of operation and how it still risks the well-being and livelihood of people affected by its projects across Asia. Aib Engagements. The network sent its Aib ESF Review Phase 1 input containing recommendations on how the bank should address critical issues fundamental to the ESF review. Forum also wrote strongly urging the bank to delay Phase 1 of the Environmental and Social Framework Review consultation. The network emphasized that considering a small volume of projects approved and implemented since 2016, Forum expected the AIIB to describe its theoretical approach and methodology on how it will conduct this critical review of its ESF vis-a-vis complementing its 3-year project portfolio. The network actively participated in the CSO dialogue with AIIB management. However, the AIIB declined the proposal of the network to designate specific speakers coming from impacted communities and CSOs monitoring the projects, and stated that given the large audience, there would be no predetermined actors to speak on selected topics. The network also participated in the CSO briefing on Aib Amundi Climate Change Investment Framework. By November 2020, the Forum Network sent its AIB ESF Review Phase 2. Forum calls out AIB's ESF draft to be an instrument to erode binding requirements by borrowers of AIB from environmental and social responsibility surrounding its funded projects. Forum Annual Meeting. 2020 was a historical moment for the NGO Forum and Adb network. For the first time, the Forum Animal Meeting FAM was conducted virtually. Within 2 days, the network discussed important topics like NGO Forum on Adb restructuring, regional country updates on campaigns, South-South cooperation, integrated energy planning, online panel discussions, among others. On the third day, the new IC chair and committee were announced, and a short meeting was conducted to thank the outgoing officers and welcome the incoming batch. Other activities. Early 2020, Legal Rights and Natural Resources Center, Freedom from Debt Coalition, and Alliance to End Mining conducted research unpacking the corporate identity of Macopa, its relationship with Placer Dome Incorporated and Barrick Gold. NGO Forum and Adb Policy Coordinator for AIB attended and shared her expertise in the Community Resource Center and International Accountability Project Community Training on Accountability Mechanism Process. Forum, together with the Asia-Europe People's Forum, had a webinar, The COVID-19 Lesson, Building a Strategy for Universal Healthcare and Social Protection. The webinar discussed and answered the question, what are the lessons we have learned from COVID-19? What are the best strategies for the way forward? Forum and AEPF also launched the Demanding Universal Healthcare and Social Protection petition, calling for a fundamental rethinking of our healthcare and social protection systems, which should be transformative so that we can genuinely change our political, economic, and social systems. The network hosted a knowledge-sharing webinar that explores how civil society can engage in energy planning as an area of advocacy. It also touched on the debate around energy beyond project advocacy and looks at the broader implication of the energy mix, price, and fundamental access by the poor and marginalized. The activity was joined by the Center for Energy, Ecology, and Development Philippines, Derecho Ambiente y Recursos Naturales Peru, Friends of Lake Turkana, Kenya. The Forum Network actively participated in the Coalition for Human Rights and Development Finance in Common Summit social media campaign, calling on the banks attending the summit to prioritize human rights, listen to human rights defenders and civil society, and let communities decide on their future. Forum has shared its expertise in the book Redefining the Agenda for Social Justice, Voices from Europe and Asia. The network stood in solidarity with the 57,191 laid-off jute mill factory workers across Bangladesh by having an education and information campaign about their struggles. Forum and Adb wrote a condemnation statement on the use of white phosphorus munitions in the war over Nagorno-Karabakh territory. NGO Forum and Adb strongly advocated stopping the usage of white phosphorus munitions before the situation escalated and resulted in an environmental disaster and regional ecocide. The year ended with the International Dialogue on Energy Investments in Bangladesh, discussing the investments of China, India, Japan, Europe, and other IFIs in Bangladesh. COVID-19 Community Emergency Fund. At the start of the pandemic, NGO Forum and Adb International Committee has decided to set up a COVID-19 Community Emergency Fund, or CEF. CEF was used as a vehicle to fundraise for emergency relief. The Forum Network was able to raise $9,000. The recipients of the emergency funds are Adb and Aib, project-affected communities, and members and local partners of the Forum who are doing COVID-19 quick response work. Funds were distributed in the Philippines, Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan. These funds were able to provide communities with food, emergency medicines, face masks, and other necessities. Publications. The Forum Network was able to produce the following publications: AIB's Climate Scorecard, co-published with Recourse, Leaving Behind Adb's Dirty Energy Legacy, Civil Society Critical Reflections and Recommendations, co-published with Center for Energy, Ecology and Development SEED, with the support of Heinrich Bell Stiftung, Southeast Asia. Unmet Gender Promises, Making IFI Projects and Policies Deliver on Gender Equal Rights co-published with Gender Action, Oxfam and Recourse. AIB and Paris Alignment co-published with Recourse and Big Shift 4 banquet issues for the months of March, June, September and December. Despite the challenges, 2020 was a productive year for the Forum Network. We thank everyone who made the year bearable. We stayed at home, but we did not stay silent.